here on the awesome, great, just wonderful set of game, greatest show on the internet. I'm your host, GQ. We have an outstanding topic here today. But before we jump into that, let me introduce the panel that's going to be talking. To my left, the man himself wearing the old school shirt, Philip. How you doing, man?
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful, sir. How's it going?
Going well.
It's good.
I'm glad you got your glasses clean today, sir.
That's right. This time is going good with the glasses clean and whatnot.
Got to have vision.
Yes.
And to my right, this man just, as far as I know, he beat about 3 or 4 people up on his way in here today. Mike Bison, how you doing?
All right, man. I'm just real excited about this topic, man.
Cool.
That we're in the way.
Speaking of the topic, before we jump into the topic, get in contact with us. Information is right there. Hands are probably a little bit too far, maybe a little too close. Whatever. But email us, Twitter, Instagram. If you're over 50, LinkedIn, possibly, we'll think about it. Leave comments at the bottom of the video, like the videos, like us on Facebook, retweets, all the others, just all the stuff the young kids are doing out there today. Make sure you're doing it. But the topic was actually sent to us by a member of the Facebook group called The Extraordinary Journey of a Black Nerd. This particular topic, we're talking about Ghostbusters and the recasting, the fact that they recast as an all-female cast, but we're also going to put an extra spin on it. So we want to thank Jamal Baraka.
Baraka wins.
We want to thank him for the topic. So we're going to jump right in. And again, if you want us to talk about a particular topic, leave us a comment down at the bottom and we will consider it. Gentlemen, game on.
I think it's a slap in the face.
Really?
I think so.
Don't like women, huh?
It's not about the women recasting, it's the women they pick. Like, I love Kristen Wiig and everybody else. I don't really don't care. Mine is Melissa McCarthy, but she's the same in all her movies. Like,
so she's become the new Will Smith.
I wouldn't say Will Smith. I would say
Kristen Wiig?
No. Melissa McCarthy, because she's the same character pretty much in every single movie she
Okay,
plays.
I'll say
No, I wasn't. She's not black.
Well, no, I know that as far
slender.
as not at all. But I don't know. It just, to me, is it gonna be like just? It won't be over the top. It won't have that male type of feel to it like they did in the original one. Like even they're scientists. Don't get me wrong, but then they had like them quick jokes that you had, each character brought, but it's like, I'm not feeling like, them as Ghostbusters.
Now, hold on.
Especially the black person they got in, like.
Well, wait, was it that they had quick jokes? Or was it that they had Bill Murray?
Bill Murray. Effing Bill Murray.
Bill Murray kind of carried that movie.
Absolutely.
And it's like.
They don't have
hard.
that. Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy is not Bill Murray.
Not
but
at all.
I'm going to toss it over to Bison.
Well, I was gonna say, one, I can understand why y'all feel like that because, see, the thing with the first Ghostbusters, man, the Ghostbusters has something that I call, or most people call, movie magic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't explain it, it just worked out. You had a bunch of passionate people come together with a fresh new idea, some really good characters at the time, they were in their prime, and then, it all just came together, and then you got Ghostbusters, and it's very hard to recreate that. Even if you look at Ghostbusters 2, Ghostbusters 2 is basically the same movie, if you look at it, and they tried to recapture that same magic, and they couldn't do it, and I'm just...
You like Ghostbusters 2?
I'm not saying it was bad,
Okay.
this wasn't as good as the first one.
And I kind of agree with them because Ghostbusters 2, it kind of felt like they had waited just a little too long. First Ghostbusters was in 1984, we all know that. Second Ghostbusters, as they put it right there in the first thing you see 5 years later, 1989. So it's like, if you guys maybe pulled this out in 87?
But that's probably the way with the cartoon too. They was built because you notice that certain changes happen in the '89 movie in part 2 because of the cartoon. You notice that each character looked just like the ones, how they dress and everything. Even their jumpsuits were the same color as the ones in the cartoon.
Okay, real quick, just jumping just a little bit off the jumpsuits. Why didn't you guys wear those gray jumpsuits you had in the second one more often? Those gray jumpsuits, the dark ones, those look sweet. I'm like, you really? You wore them for one scene and that was it?
Yeah.
Like, come on. So, I mean, again, but like, okay, now you got all of a sudden the female Ghostbusters thing coming around. Now, here's the thing. This is what's going to get on my nerves about it. They got, what was her name? The lady that wrote The Heat. She kind of co-wrote, I think she co-wrote The Heat. She's going to be like co-writing this movie. So she can, kind of get the female voice. Because obviously if a guy's writing dialogue for a woman, it doesn't sound quite the same.
Yeah.
So they got her to do it. But here's the problem. I didn't like The Heat.
I didn't either.
I didn't either.
So I mean, it's kind of like...
corny, like...
Yeah.
I like the intro.
Yeah, and that was about
Interesting.
that was about it. And the thing is, I think it goes back to that Melissa McCarthy playing that role.
Same,
It's like she's always. It's like, yeah, it worked in Bridesmaids. That's great. Kudos.
Yeah.
You can't do that for every single movie
Exactly.
and expect people to, not get tired of you.
Well, let me ask you this: you think they're too old? Because
Probably.
when you say prime in both Ghostbusters movies, how old were they going into the movie? Because I'm not sure how old they, Bill Murray.
Bill Murray and all
everybody.
them, they were probably in their mid to late 30s. I
Okay,
would think
so-
maybe somewhere, yeah, because they're all about 60 now. They're somewhere in that
Yeah,
range. 'Cause
yeah,
it's 30
yeah.
years ago. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they were probably about in their 30s. But again, they were in that SNL alumni group. That was like
Absolutely,
that group that was like you said, in their prime. Like they could almost, it's like anything they touched turned into gold. They're trying to kind of bring in some of those SNL people
elements,
again now, and it's like SNL ain't even
I guess they
funny
think that
anymore.
they're in their
You know,
prime. You think? Like that's why they putting them out?
they're
Or?
old.
They're
They're old. Like they're not gonna
weird.
come across. It's not gonna come across as being funny, especially on a young audience who don't know nothing about Ghostbusters. I showed the Ghostbusters at work. They was like, "What's this movie?" I said, "You gotta be kidding me."
Wow.
Got to question the people you work with.
That's one of my concerns, man. Who is the target audience really? Is it the younger generation or is it like, are you trying to recreate it for our generation?
And that's what they're trying to, but it's
For
not-
us?
I think that's where they're going.
And I think that's a bad
It's a
idea.
bad idea.
Yeah,
I
just
think-
to be 100% honest.
To be honest, I think they should go to younger because I think it should be passing the torch on to younger scientists.
Now here's the thing I think happened with that, because I think for the longest time, and Bill Murray, I love you, but you held this movie up, and unfortunately Harold Ramis passed away last year, and it's like this could have happened if you weren't the holdout. But it's like I think once Harold Ramis died, it was like, look, we kind of can't do that storyline. So I mean, and I think that's almost where they were going. It's like I think they really wanted to do that, passing the torch,
Yeah.
training the younger, because have you ever played the video? Have you guys played the video game?
Yeah.
Never played it, but everyone talks about how good it
was
is.
sweet.
The video game is almost that type of feel to it. It's like you are the new recruit. The original guys are, going out on missions with you. And, it picks up literally right after the second movie. So it's like you're playing those, events of the kind of the fallout, and then, a new evil comes in. And all
But
that
I had a theory of what they could have done since Harold Ramis passed away. They could have said they was on a mission and he got trapped in another dimension. They couldn't save him. And then they could say we're going to retire because we lost our friend. And then some new scientists say, oh wow, college students or whatever.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Hey, we want to do this. We've been fans of you guys. We found some new stuff. Maybe we can help bring Harold, but they don't, type of thing. And that could have brought on another younger generation to the Ghostbusters.
That's a good way to look
And I
at
think
it.
it would have been smart if they do it that way.
Now here's the thing, and Jamal, we want to again thank you for the topic. If we turn it around and like, okay, let's say we are going to skip this female cast thing, let's go with the younger generation. Who would you bring in to be those particular roles? Because obviously, as anybody knows, I didn't necessarily say it's a reboot, but you got to almost have those
Yeah,
same
you do.
character types in there. So who, first of all, right off the bat, Dan Aykroyd's character, who would play Stans? Ray Stans,
Ray
man,
Stans,
come on.
yeah, I don't know who can.
See, a lot of the people that you think.
You know what? I would say, what's the guy's name from Big Bang Theory? Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Anybody, well, not anybody.
The real nerdy dude.
Sheldon?
Sheldon, yeah.
Oh,
Sheldon,
Sheldon.
yeah.
Sheldon is almost more of a Spangler.
You think so?
He's
Okay.
Well, yeah, I can see that.
okay.
lanky, that's kind
Spangler.
of Harold Ramis's
Okay,
character.
I can see a Spangler, but
Yeah.
Stans,
He's a tough
he's
one.
a tough.
That's the one that I was stuck on. Like,
Okay, let's skip him for a second. Let's
Okay.
jump over to Venkman. Who's going to be Peter Venkman?
You
have
to have. Oh, Ryan Reynolds. You don't think so? Just that charisma? Just that charisma though?
Almost, but it feels kind of. I'm sorry, Ryan Reynolds lost a lot of stock after Green Lantern.
What
man.
about Andy
I'm
Samberg?
sorry. Sandberg could be good.
I think Samberg would be good.
Sandberg could be
I can see
interesting.
Sandberg, yeah.
I mean, I'd almost, and here's where people are going to crucify me. Somebody has got to get Justin Timberlake involved in Ghostbusters.
I was just thinking about that.
Timberlake,
He has his
I don't
moments.
care what anybody says, the dude is extremely talented. Sing, dance,
I'm
act.
a fan.
So it's like he could be one. I don't know if he can necessarily be the front man.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's got the charisma of Venkman, but I don't think he has that timing.
Yeah, he does.
Bill Murray had that
Yeah.
timing. It was like everything was like boom. Like you felt like this is me if I was thrown in this situation. I think we were talking the other day about it, where
Yep.
I like it. I don't like comedies that much. I'm gonna be 100% honest, but I appreciate them. But if a movie is trying too hard to be funny, that's when you lose me.
So you can have Timberlake as Stance though?
He could be Ray Stantz.
He could be Ray Stantz.
He could be, yeah, because he was, even like Murray said in the first movie, he's the heart of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you can see Timberlake, filling that role, because he was, Dan Aykroyd's character was kind of like the kid that gets thrown in the middle of like this. He's like, this is just a playground. I'm loving like we finding ghosts and we getting slime. He just loved it. But like everybody else was kind of, obviously Egon was the straight man. It was just like, of course, black nerd group.
Insert black.
Who's gonna be the black guy?
Yeah.
Who's the token black guy? Because I'm sorry, they treated Winston like a token black guy.
You know they gonna get Kevin Hart.
I was gonna say Kevin Hart.
They gonna get Kevin Hart just for the, for giggles.
He might actually work, man, because he's like the scariest black dude on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So.
But the thing is, if you read up on Winston, like he had all the degrees they didn't mention in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, look it up. He had the degrees. He actually he was more qualified than the rest of them.
And I think that's where kind of part of the problem was. It was like Winston, because originally, as we all know the story goes, they wanted Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Beverly Hills Cop came out. What are you going to do? You're going to star as a sidekick, or are you going to be the main guy? So obviously, Eddie went his way. The rest is history. So they got Ernie Hudson to come in, and it's like, okay, you had it written completely this way, and he wanted to go, but it's like you said, what were his real qualifications? Obviously, he walked in, and they took him because they needed him, but it's like, he held his own. So
definitely.
obviously there was something there. Now here's the one thing I want to harp on Winston, since we're talking about Ghostbusters. You guys remember in the second one, courtroom scene.
Yeah.
Winston was standing right there, explained to them how tough the judge was, called him the hammer, blah, 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 blah. How many Proton packs were sitting on that table?
All four.
All 4 Proton packs. Winston, during the whole commotion, where did you go?
Yeah.
Because I could understand if dude, he was out in New Jersey taking care of his baby mama, whatever, who knows? But you were in the courtroom, we all saw it, and then all of a sudden the stuff goes down, gone, just ghosts. It's
gone.
Like, what happened? So that's my only gripe against him. And that hair that he had in the second one was terrible.
He had that was a terrible hairstyle.
That little Richard perm. Go ahead,
What's the
Mike.
black? No, I was gonna say, what's the black dude's name? I keep forgetting his name. He was in a hot tub time machine.
Oh, your boy.
Yeah, Craig, okay.
Hey, you know what? I had a discussion about that. I was talking to Megatron about it. I said, wouldn't it be funny if they had the whole Seth Rogen's crew as Ghostbusters? But then he said he'd probably say some off the wall stuff and
you'd lose everybody. I mean, and again, I don't know. I would almost and they'll never do it because of Ghostbusters is such a historic comedic movie. It's always in the comedy section. To me, it's like when I was a kid, I didn't necessarily, I mean, obviously the jokes were there. As a kid, you miss some of them because you're a kid. You don't, the adult jokes you're not necessarily going to get.
Right.
But it's like, some of them were like, okay, this is more horror. If you really want to tweak it,
it was.
This is kind of like more, and Pete Venkman was the comedy relief in the sense of, what would a regular person in this situation, how would they react? And that's what he was to me. It's like, he was a scientist, yes, he was a doctor, but he was the real guy of like, hold on, wait, hold on, whoa. I just saw what?
Yeah.
This ever happened to you? And
Exactly,
that's what I liked him, but that's why I liked him playing that character, because it's like, he was the audience.
Right.
He was the audience. He was the avatar of the audience in that film. So, I don't know. I mean, real quick, last thoughts.
I think they should just scrap it, period, because they go on this route and it's going to lose the fan bases and everything they built for 30 years, so it's not going to be good at all. Scrap it.
Mike Bison.
It's either going to be really good or unbearable terrible.
That's a new one. Unbearable hashtag unbearable terrible. We got to remember that one.
Yeah.
So, again, gentlemen, we want to thank you for being on the show. We want to thank Jamal.
Baraka.
I'm sorry, I got to say it like that every time, man. I'm sorry. You picked the name, either that or that's your given name. So, hey. So, once again, thank you, Jamal Baraka, for the topic, for Culture Junkies, for Game. Hit that comment section. Like us. Like the video. Subscribe. Email is right there. All the information you need is right there. Everything that fits. And for anybody out there, if you've got a Blu-ray player, you should buy now. It is 2015. Get Ghostbusters on Blu-ray and watch Ghostbusters 2 in Japanese. That is the funniest thing you will do all evening. Then they watch the show again and like us again. For Culture Junkies, I am GQ. This is Philip and Mike Bison. Game over.
Everything was fine with our system until the power grid was shut off by Dickless here.
Is this true?
Yes, it's true. This man has no...
Culture Junkies!